You're exfoliating, green juicing, cold plunging, Botoxing, dry brushing, and you're still wondering why you feel like and look like a hot mess. Sis, you are not lazy. You are just stuck on the hot girl hamster wheel. Let's talk about how to get off without losing your glow. I'm Dr. Mina. Welcome to my channel, The Skin Real, where I give real people real information so that they can make informed decisions about their skin health. Sound good? Let's get into it. Now, this is normally my recap episode where I break down my key takeaways from my guest interview on Monday. However, I did things a little differently this week. On Monday, I did a solo episode, which I have not done in a very long time, but I was really excited to go over a framework way that I think about skin health. And I call it the real skin method. And I broke down really the four components that I believe as a dermatologist seeing patients and as a midlife woman, the four key takeaways for healthy, vibrant skin. And it includes reveal, edit, align, and love. And those are sort of the four main pillars, if you will. If you want to hear the full episode, I will link it at the end so you can check it out. On this recap episode, I want to break down the edit pillar where I talk about the importance of simplifying your skincare and eliminating the stuff that is not serving you. And specifically, I want to talk about getting off the hot girl hamster wheel. Now, if you are like me, you are into wellness and longevity and you want to age as naturally and beautifully as you can. But at some point, and for some people, wellness has turned into a full-time job. And we're quite frankly getting burned out by it. I know I was. So if your skincare routine feels like a second job and your self-care is starting to feel more like self-sabotage, this episode is your wake-up call. I say, let this be your sign to get off the hot girl hamster wheel. Now, you might be thinking, what's the hot girl hamster wheel? But if you know, you know. And I think we've all been on it at some point in our life. And this is something that I routinely have to kind of check myself to see, okay, why am I doing this? Am I doing this because I really want to? Am I doing it because my friend's doing it? Am I doing it because it sounds really cool? Or am I doing it because I really love it and I know it works and I believe in it? But really, the hot girl hamster wheel is basically just this idea of always chasing wellness, beauty, success, youth, confidence, the glow up, you name it. This vision of a perfect life, that we have a perfect career, a perfect family, and everything is just beautifully curated, right? And unfortunately, especially for women, I feel like we really put a lot of pressure on ourselves to live up to this. And so we get on this hot girl hamster wheel of really beauty and life preservation, especially as we age, and we just don't know how to get off. And instead, we're throwing more and more things onto our to-do list, our wellness and beauty routines, and we're just having to run faster and faster. It's like we're treading water just to keep our heads afloat, and we're not really making any progress. Like I said, I do love self-care, and I'm really on this journey now in my 40s to live a life that's really in alignment with my values, not based off what someone else wants me to do or what I think I should do, right? And I think this is one of the beauties of aging, that you really can be true and authentic to yourself. My children are in their tweens right now, and I can start to see they are really caring about what their peers are doing and fitting in, right? And so at that time in their life, fitting in is so important, right? And not standing out or being unique, even though I wish I could tell them it's okay to be unique, right? But as we get older, at least I feel like I have given myself more permission to really do things that I really want to do, even if my friends don't do it or my friends don't like it or my family thinks it's weird. If I like it and I want to do it, I feel confident enough that what the heck, I'm going to do it. But sometimes this personal journey to wellness, to enlightenment, right? It can start to get downright competitive and it doesn't feel like it's serving our wellness anymore, right? You may have some crazy morning routine. You wake up at 4:30, so you have to go to bed at 7 and you're not even spending time with your family, or you've given yourself such a restrictive diet that you can no longer cook and eat meals together or go out together and spend quality time with your family. Maybe your day is so jam packed with appointments between your coach, your therapist, your stretching class, your dry brushing, your mani pedis, your Botox, whatever it is that you do. And it can just get downright overwhelming. You wonder, where did my day go? Right. Because we have all these like appointments and check boxes we think we have to do to stay youthful for vitality. And you might be wondering, why am I doing this? Is it even working? And why don't I feel better if I'm doing all these things that are supposed to make me look and feel more youthful? And if you've ever been in that situation, I feel you. And that is the hot girl hamster wheel, my friends. Now, I joke that it starts out kind of insidious. You don't even know you're getting on it, right? You may start out doing some highlights with your hair, or maybe you get some mani pedis or tips or SNS, whatever. And next thing you know, you're getting massages, and now you're going to a stretch class, and now you've joined a gym, and now you're doing LED, and now you're doing facial yoga, lymphatic drainage, whatever it is, right? Like all these things in and of themselves are not bad. And I'm not saying don't do them. But when you start feeling like you have to do these and all the time, it really can eat up into your day and take away from maybe just living your life, right? I do think we're in this day and age in society, and I'm guilty of it too, where we feel like we have to be busy all the time. We have to be productive all the time. Our calendars have to be jam packed with meetings or appointments, or we're not important, or we're not doing a good job, or we don't feel like we're contributing, right? I totally get caught up in this. I think we all do. But it's important to realize like wellness and self care doesn't necessarily mean having to do more and more and more all the time, especially if it's because you're running away from aging or you're fearful about what will happen if you don't do it. I know we get mixed messages all the time about aging gracefully and taking care, of our bodies and self-care, but a lot of times this self-care, aging gracefully actually feels like quite the opposite. It feels like we're having to do all these things just to look like or pretend like we're aging gracefully. But then on the other hand, I'm not trying to tell you not to do any of these things. I think it's important. Wellness is important to me. Vitality is important to me. I feel youthful, and so I want to look youthful. And so I will do aesthetic treatments and procedures to help with that. I did a laser about a week ago, and I had someone come up to me and say, "Oh my gosh, well, you can't tell your audience you did that because they're going to think, oh my gosh, you're not authentic." And it kind of made me sad a little bit because I'm not trying to tell people not to do anything, right? I do feel like sometimes there's this very binary approach to aging or wellness or aesthetics where you're either all in or you don't do anything. But it's totally appropriate and probably the healthiest to be somewhere in the middle if you so desire, right? Where you do the things that make you feel good and you get rid of all the stuff that all the noise and nonsense out there. I say with beauty and skincare, right? There are tons of stuff we can do, but you don't have to do all the things. You just have to do the right things for you. And you are the only one who really can figure out what are the right things. The first step to getting off the hot girl hamster wheel is to acknowledge you are on it. And I want you to do an audit. If you don't, you may be thinking, oh, I'm not really on it. I just do a couple things. I'm good. I don't need to worry about it. But here is a very telling exercise that I think you should all do if you're sitting somewhere with a sheet of paper or your computer. I want you to pull up Excel or make a little table, and I want you to write down all the beauty, personal beauty, wellness, all the things you do over, let's just start with a 90-day period, right? And write out column what they are. And then I want you to write next to it how long it takes. So maybe getting your hair colored takes 2 hours. Maybe getting that massage takes 90 minutes. Maybe your Botox appointment only takes 15 minutes, but you have to wait an hour. So list out how much time it takes. And then next to that, list out the frequency with which you have to do it. Is this something that you do every 3 weeks? Is it something you do every 3 months? Or is it something you're doing literally every day, perhaps? And then I want you, lastly, to write out how much you enjoy it using a 1 to 5 scale, 1 meaning I hate this so much, and 5 meaning I love this so much, don't ever take it away. And I want you to really just be honest. This is just for you. No one has to look at it or read it. I want you to do this audit and write out all the beauty, personal care, procedures, treatments that you get done. And you may be surprised when you actually write them out how many things you're doing and how much time it's taking and how much money it's taking. But really, what might be the most eye opening is if you're being honest, rating how much you enjoy or dislike some of the stuff you're doing. You may find you've got a lot of ones and twos in that list. And so I would use this as a guide to help you rethink, what am I doing here? Why am I doing this? If things are fives and you can afford the time and financial commitment, then by all means, go for it, right? If those things truly bring you joy and you love it and you can see the benefit, then do it. But what I would encourage you to do is find those ones and twos, and maybe even threes, right? And figure out, why are you doing it? And I would encourage you to be brave and to start crossing some of these things off your list. Now, doesn't mean forever. Maybe you cross it off for a month and kind of see what happens and see how you feel. I bet you won't even miss it and you won't even know it's gone. I decided, this is kind of silly, but for me, I was like, I really hate getting my nails done. I hate getting pedicures and manicures. And I feel like I have to sit there for so long. I don't like how they feel afterwards. My skin is like kind of oily. And I feel like I have to shower and it's expensive. And I feel like there's just so many other things I'd rather do with my time. So this summer, I just didn't get any pedicures. And at first, I thought, oh my gosh, my feet are going to look awful and terrible. And what I've realized is I can just very simply do this at home. And I really actually don't even like having toenail polish on my toes because it chips all the time. And then it's not even uniform and even. And so here's something, I thought I was going to have these horrible looking toes. I was going to look like a freak. And now I'm realizing I don't think I'm even going to go back to it because I didn't enjoy it and I didn't really see the benefit for me personally. And so now that's just something recently that I've taken off my list and I don't miss it at all. But had I not done this audit and realized it wasn't something I really loved, I never would have gotten there. So take a few minutes to actually jot this down. You don't have to tell your spouse or loved one how much you're spending or the time, but I do find that just seeing all the things you're doing can be really valuable and eye-opening. Now, the next part of getting off the hot girl hamster wheel is to really eliminate the noise around you. And there's so much of this. The ads I get on my social media, the stuff I see that pop up when I'm on the computer, and just the things I hear just out and about in life. There's just so much noise and nonsense out there. But here's the thing, you don't have to follow it, and you don't have to fall for it, and you don't have to believe in it. And my advice is just to also do a little bit of an audit on the people you're around and the communities you are around too. If you're around people who are all about doing these procedures and spending a lot of time and money on these things, you're more likely to be doing that too. And so maybe you need to do an audit of the way you're spending your time or who you're spending your time with. If that isn't in alignment with what you want to do, then maybe spending a little less time with people like that would be important. Social media too. Like maybe we all need to spend a little less time on social media, honestly. We scroll through, we see these filtered images that even if we know, oh, that's a filter, we still see how beautiful they look, how perfect their skin looks or their body. And we can't help but compare it to how we look or how we think we look, right? And it just makes us feel bad. Plus, we're also being told, oh, buy this, buy that. I joke that being a dermatologist, we go to these conferences and I leave and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I needed to worry about my elbows or my ankles. Now I got to worry about these things, right? So you could really go down the rabbit hole with some of these online communities and even with the people you surround yourself and how you spend your time during the day. So take an audit at that as well. Are the people around you, online or in person, or as the kids say, IRL, right? Are they lifting you up? Are they in alignment with where you're going and what you want to be doing? And it can be tricky, but it sometimes is important to let maybe those relationships kind of fade away and find more of your people or more of the people in alignment with your values. I just want to close this off by saying the hot girl hamster wheel, it's not an all or nothing. But if you do feel like you're spinning your wheels, you're doing all the things, and you're not getting the results you want, then it's probably time to do an audit of how you're spending your time, maybe who you're spending your time with, who's giving you your skin care advice and guidance and education, right? And to maybe find something or someone that's more in alignment with where you're trying to go. And it's you may have to do this every few years. You may have to do this every year, right? If you feel like your personal care and your beauty and wellness is making you more stressed out than it should, then let this be your sign to get off the hot girl hamster wheel. If you want more real skin information and education, I definitely recommend checking out my app. It just came out. You can download it for iPhones and Androids, and I have lots of great information all there in the palm of your hands, easy access. You can listen to podcasts, blogs, etc. So definitely check that out. Also, we'll be doing some special Q&As and online events. So be sure to check it out so you don't miss any of those. And I will see you next week, friend.